Hi, good morning. It's Shane from maverickstar Observatory. We're going to quickly go through the Earth Alpha at a glance, and then we're going to move on to just a few facts with regards to the Earth's magnetosphere depleting. So before we do that, I'd like to say a big thank you to Sydney, John, Deborah and Terry yesterday, who made a contribution to the observatory. But just bear in mind that's 4 people only out of 2,400. The conversion rate is, a little bit worrying. We're getting close to this event, and it's going to affect everyone right now that's listening to this. And I can guarantee you, when you start to notice these changes rapidly, increasing, you'll wish you'd have done something, probably a couple of months or a year or so ago to help improve the information that you receive then. So we're looking into the future. The changes are happening as we predicted, and it could have just been that little bit better if only a few more people had stepped up to that line. So with regards to that, let's go through the Earth Alpha at a glance. So there's been a bit of a reduction, as you can see, in the atmospheric CO2 this morning when I took the readings. We're at 416 parts per million. Me personally, and I think a few of you guys, would like to see it a little bit more than that. We know that the Earth would only benefit and go greener as a result. Atmospheric oxygen still at 21.15. There is slight fluctuations if you go through these months or weeks that we do the Earth Alpha at a glance, but in general it stays at 21%, and that is a massive reservoir of oxygen. So we've got no trouble at this time of running out of oxygen unless we do something critically and seriously wrong. We've got the longitude and latitude of the magnetic North Pole, which will be updated in 5 days time, on or around about the 17th of March, as we usually do. Background radiation is at 00.12 microsieverts per hour. We've got a couple of extra volcanoes on last week's volcanoes, so we're at 28 on those, and the largest earthquake over the last 24 hours within the last hour of doing this video was 5.8 south of Fiji Islands. We've got 2 sunspots, or 2 active spots on the disk. We've got a quiet geomagnetic field, and solar x-rays are normal. We still have unsettled jet streams, and that is largely due to the increase over the last 20 years or so of cosmic rays. And that leads us to the next thing that we're going to be talking about in this video, but I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet. Don't want to take up your weekend, because I'm sure that time is better spent with your family. So let's move on. So as you can see, we're over at the European Space Agency. I come over here now and then just to see if they've released anything of interest to us at the observatory and for you guys. And I thought I'd just bring this to your attention, because this is the European Space Agency coming clean on some of the changes that are taking place on our Earth, and acknowledging a few things, like, for instance, Earth's magnetic field is vital to life on our planet. That should be a point we take, because it is, and most of us know that. It is a complex and dynamic force that protects us from cosmic radiation, which we know is on the increase, and charged particles from the sun. The magnetic field is largely generated by an ocean of superheated swirling liquid iron that makes up the outer core around 3,000 kilometers beneath our feet, acting as a spinning conductor in a bicycle dynamo. It creates electrical currents, which in turn generate our continuously changing electromagnetic field. Well, that is based on a theory, because we don't exactly know what is in our centre core of the Earth, or how really we generate our magnetic field. Now, I know some of you have seen the experiment that have been conducted where they've heated molten sodium up and rotated it. Well, it's the old saying, isn't it? Errors in, errors out. First of all, you're not using iron, you're using sodium, and then you're creating the swirling motion. The Earth does it itself. So there's a lot of errors in, and you're going to get errors out. We just don't know how the interior of our Earth creates the dynamo effect that generates our magnetosphere. But more importantly is the last paragraph, which we're going to just have a quick look at. So over the last 200 years, the magnetic field has lost around 9% of its strength on a global average. A large region of reduced magnetic intensity has developed between Africa and South America, and is known as the South Atlantic anomaly. Something we talk about a lot here, guys, and recently we've been talking about it because it has been splitting, but over the last 200 years it's been growing, and it has lost around 9%. Let's put that in perspective. What does 9% mean of the magnetosphere strength? It means 10,000 nanoteslas or 10 microteslas on an average over the Earth, which is quite a lot, because we started out with 60,000 nanoteslas or 60 microteslas, and now we've got 50, and we've lost that over a period of 200 years. Now, I believe it's close to double that. But the other thing is here that they do mention is that the magnetic North Pole, as a result of that reduction, has rapidly started to move over the Northern Hemisphere, which we've been tracking. We know that's the case. But why has the magnetic North Pole gone faster over the time? It's like it's gone up a gear and started to cover more distance in shorter periods of time, and it's done that 3 times. And the only thing I can say is it's because the magnetosphere has weakened, and this probably is something that they are not telling us about at these organisations, and it is probably why we can't get access to over level 2 data regarding the magnetic anomalies that are taking place around our world from these organisations like the ESA and NASA and NOAA. I think it's very obvious. If we can get access to data of, they'll show us live footage from Mars with the new lander that's gone onto Mars recently. They'll show us footage of the moon. They'll show us stereo A, stereo B, front and back of the sun photographs, all the radiation data we can get hold of. But, on our own planet, we can't get magnetic data. Why is that? Well, I think there's a reason. I think you guys know what that reason is. It's because this event, that is a very rare event. Last time a completed reversal took place 780,000 years ago. This time, 500,000 years later than what it should be, has now started to occur in our time. And it has already been migrating in the last 100 years, over 1,500 miles across the Northern Hemisphere. And we are 29 months away from it reaching that theoretical 40 degrees mark, where we anticipate a rapid movement as the magnetic dipole over the Northern Hemisphere moves from the strong field lines into those weak field lines. And we believe at the observatory it's just not going to be a case of watching your compass go from north to south. If anyone feels that that is the case, then you're wrong, and it's already been proven. As the magnetosphere drops, more harmful cosmic rays come into our atmosphere, and they cause cancer, they cause cardiac arrest, and that happens across the whole of the biodiversity on our planet. So we are momentarily away from an event, which could be a catastrophe, or it could be something that we can contain and manage as it happens. It all depends on what these governments have been doing behind the curtains, to ensure human continuity, or have they just been completely ridiculous and ensured the continuity of the governments and the billionaires? Something we can only speculate on. We just don't know. But this is not, as you know, a conspiracy. So there's no porn fear here on offer for you guys. We're offering true facts, and that is why we have set up what equipment we have in the field to monitor it ourselves, because we don't get the information from these organisations. So I said I'll keep this straight. I'm not going to rabble on any longer. I'm just going to mention that all important thing, the link down there, and ask that a few more people step up to the line and support what we do here at the observatory. We really need to get equipment out into Brazil. End of story. And if we can, as a bonus, pop some into Russia as well. You know, that's what we're aiming at doing this year. That is our primary target for this year. So if you want to help us achieve that, links are down there in the description, or become one of our patrons. Simple as that. Guys, you have an amazing day. Look after your loved ones. I'll say what I usually do. Bye for now.